This is an Earth 2018 special report. I'm Mark the Arcturian.
We interrupt this special report to bring you this special report.
The argument is over. We are now in an era where humans shape the destiny of our planet. 97% of climate scientists agree that man-made climate change is real and happening right now. Geologists and climatologists are finding that a rapid climate event is happening right before our eyes. Now consider this. Unthinkable and terrifying as it may seem, nearly all life on Earth could go extinct because of man-made climate change. Here's why.
The Earth has experienced dramatic loss of life, or what we call mass extinctions, 5 times over the course of geologic history. And the largest and most devastating of all was the Permian Mass-Extinction. By the end of the Permian Mass-Extinction, 95% of all life on the planet was dead. And why is this important today? Because today, a 6th extinction is underway, and it bears a horrifying resemblance to several previous global warming-driven events, like the Permian Mass-Extinction.
Powerful fossil fuel corporations are fighting to monetize the trillions of tons of carbon they own that's still underground. Every day, we are witness to more climate-related events. This is the most urgent of times and a most urgent message.
Everyone's seen the scene in Titanic where Leonardo DiCaprio, they sneak up front and he stands there and they're both together and he yells at the top of his lungs, "I'm on top of the world!"
Right, I remember that.
Of course you do. I think he may have actually said, "I'm king of the world." However, king, top, regardless. The king of the world, the North Pole. Maybe you don't live in Southern Cal. Maybe you don't run out of water. Maybe you don't live in a seismic zone. It doesn't matter where you live after the Arctic ice cap melts. One word. Permafrost. Permafrost.
And this one's the game changer. Arctic permafrost is melting, releasing methane, warming the air 30 times faster, which melts more permafrost, releasing more methane. It's an unstoppable runaway train, end of the line that I'm afraid spells game over.
It doesn't matter where you live after the Arctic ice cap melts. The former polar ice cap on the North Pole. There's no Santa pole, red and white pole in the ice. There's no reindeer. There's nothing marking the North Pole except a buoy in the water. The former polar ice cap on the North Pole is now a lake, is now a lake, is now a lake. There's a buoy in the water, is now a lake, is now a lake, now a lake, now a lake, now a lake, now a lake. We have so far surpassed the sea level rise they projected in the 90s It's not even funny. Louisiana loses currently approximately a football field of land every 48 minutes. Let me say that again. It's mind-boggling. Louisiana, right now, this instant, this exact second, is losing a football field of land every 48 minutes. We've lost 2 or 3 football fields of land by the time we finish this show.
It's true. It is happening. Now the yellow on the bottom? Yeah, that's a good time for those. Temperatures in Greenland have risen 3 degrees Celsius above average. Okay, pop quiz. What is the agreed upon global temperature increase to stay under if we're to sustain human life on planet Earth? Did you say 2 degrees Celsius? Well, see, you're getting good at this stuff. Not only are we failing to meet the 2 degrees Celsius target, we're on track for warming far above 2 degrees Celsius. Now, some of you may have started to notice this figure. Not in the last 11, 12,000 years, 10,800 years, which just happens to coincide with the last time we came out of our mini ice age, which just happens to coincide with the last time we came out of the photon belt. Not a coincidence. This is exactly what they told us would happen. This is a shot of the North Pole sea surface temperatures from 2014. The star is the North Pole, little blue splash, Greenland. That dark maroon you're looking at is 2 to 4 degrees Celsius above average already. And those are from 2014. 2016, record summer temperature broken again in Greenland. And between 2003 and 2010, the ice mass, the ice mass disappeared twice as fast during those 7 years as during the entire 20th century. Yeah, exactly.
This happens every time we go through the photon belt. Melts the ice shields, we do a little shifting, a little dance. Some will, some won't, so what? And here we are 10,000 years later, ready to embark on it again. People say, wait a minute, what's the photon belt? Well, most of us have heard of the Van Allen belt of radiation. But the photonic band, this belt, which as you see right here, this is off NASA's website, Earth is passing through an interstellar cloud. Not Voyager 1 and 2 found an interstellar cloud we may pass through. It's not we're about to pass through, going to. Earth is currently passing through an interstellar cloud of intense electromagnetic radiation. NASA scientist Alexei Dmitriev, when asked, how large is this thing? 760,000 billion miles wide. 760,000 billion miles across, even at 11 million miles a day. When Alexei Dmitriev was asked how long is it going to take Earth and our solar system to traverse this, so I don't know, but if I had to guess, I'd say about 2,000 to 3,000 years. Cha-ching!
Stay tuned. How many of you noticed the whole world has gone crazy? He told us that too. Yeah, it's in there. It was written, they will start as fires that burn within us, and we will burn up with desires and conflict if we do not remember the original teachings and return to the peaceful way of life. None of my films are doom and gloom films. My whole intent is to show you enough crud is going on this earth that whether it's environmentally or economically, that the systems currently in place on planet Earth are unsustainable. And there isn't one of you watching that doesn't know that on some level. The ship is going down. And whatever you cling to in this world, whether it's houses, jobs, guy, girl, house, car, boat, it's just switching seats on the Titanic. There will come a day in the all-too-near future where you won't even have one more day to choose which world you want to be a part of. I have good news. Yes, the end of the world's been postponed. Of course, that was put out last year in 2015. Stay tuned. Number 4, you gotta love it. Was the sun just reflecting off the ice and water? Oh, seriously. Now, don't you notice they conveniently left off the most logical theory of all? Earth moved! Now, there is a number 6. And as usual, I, Mark the Arcturian, have deduced the actual reason. The sun rose 2 days early on 1/11/11 in Greenland. Turns out, it was just a lens flare. Stay tuned.
Just look at all we squoze out of 2 30-second clips, and the best may be yet to come. During production of this film, I've found 100% proof, undeniable evidence. Even Neil deGrasse Tyson himself cannot debunk that this is all true and happening right on schedule. But I see we're out of time, so here are some scenes from Earth 2016, Part 3.
3 days later, we'd swung 5 degrees the other way, to only 2 minutes or half a degree off. In fact, during the 80-day study, the sun never rose on time once. We were between half a degree to 5 degrees off our rocker. No big deal, you say? Let me put this in perspective. Earth normally wobbles 23.5 degrees during the precession of the equinoxes over 25,627 years, or roughly 1 degree every 1,000 years. And here we're swinging 5 degrees in 1 day? When charted out, listen, when charted out on a graph, this tells the whole story. Look at the last 40 days of the study. Again, since the sun doesn't zig, we're zagging. Eliminate the impossible, and there's only one reason for this, and that is a heliophysical axial flux and 100% visual proof the poles are shifting. He shoots, he scores. What?
I've been hornswoggled.
Mark the Arcturian? That's the best you got for him after all that? Bunch of dots on a piece of graph paper could have been done by a first grader. Aha! Another study showing axial coordinates from January 14th through March 2016. In case you don't know what you're looking at, that center is geophysical axial north. We should be within 23.5 degrees of that spot 7 days a week. But we're all over the map. Oh, I suppose that's just more graph paper. You don't like that one either?
No.
Look, the last line is 2010, showing a rapid pole shift. What about that?
Nope.
All right, how about this one?
Nope.
This one?
No.
This one?
Nope.
Okay, last chance. 2015. Look, 1 year later, look at our tilt. This clinches it.
Nope.
All right, tough crowd today. But wouldn't it be great if we could hang a camera 1 million miles away from Earth and go back in time and actually get these 2 shots? Well, ask, believe, and you shall receive. 1 year, 1 million miles away. I just created a Mandela effect. This is actually a very pretty video taken by the EPIC camera aboard the joint NASA-NOAA U.S. Air Force satellite Discover. Sits 1 million miles from Earth at a gravitational balance point known to us rocket scientists as Lagrange 1. But I'll let NASA tell you the rest.
EPIC is an Earth science instrument aboard the Discover satellite, which launched in February 2015. The spacecraft always remains between the Sun and the Earth, approximately 1 million miles away, at a special gravitational balance point known as Lagrange 1. In March, the Moon passed between the Earth and the Sun, causing a total solar eclipse. During the eclipse, the Moon cast its shadow over a portion of the planet. If we slow the video down, we can see the Moon's shadow make an appearance right about now.
Shadow, moon, shadow. Now that was cool.
Alright, let's zip to the end. I love this end screen. Your planet is changing. We're on it. It's kind of funny for NASA, but why does it say your planet is changing? What are they, Venusians? Why doesn't it say our planet is changing? Yeah, I guess that explains it. But did anyone see what I just saw? I watched this movie when it came out, and I sat there for a moment with my jaw hanging open, realizing what was staring me right in the face. Delivered by NASA? Are you kidding me? This is too good. Okay, rewind that. So you're saying if I've been right about all this, all I have to do is snap a photo of the beginning of August 2015, snap that shot. So this is 1 year later, and these two shots should be exactly the same. Yes or yes? Snap that shot. Drum roll, please. And behold, ladies and gentlemen, as promised in the title, I, Mark the Arcturian, and as usual, only I, Mark the Arcturian, etc., have deduced this 100% hidden in plain view proof. Not even Neil deGrasse Tyson Chicken Nuggets himself can debunk. Well, Neil, what do you have to say for yourself? What can I say, Mark the Arcturian? You got me.
But I said in the beginning, don't believe a word I'm saying. And Noah, nobody believed Noah. Nobody believed Nostradamus. They certainly don't believe the Mayans. Why, they didn't even believe Jesus Christ himself. So don't believe me. I'd say that puts me in pretty good company.
I'd say it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
2012, big movie came out. So now we have this idea it happens like that in one day, right? Big cataclysm. Oh, we'll get there, don't worry, but right now it's slow. It's just like you left the water on in the bathtub a little too long, and it's overflowing a little, and it's rising slowly. Then comes 2012 date, and the entire world knew that on 12/21/12, the world was going to end. Dun, dun, dun. That's how it was played out. And the movie 2012 certainly furthered that idea
that it was going to all happen in one day, Armageddon, floods, quakes, etc. That it would all happen in 24 hours, one day. And though we will get to those days with great upheavals and cataclysmic events, and if anyone can't see that that's the progression we're going, then we just have been living in a rock or spending too much time on Facebook or watching pet yawning videos. Because when I say 2012 now playing at a corner near you, it doesn't matter where you live on this planet anymore. You know something's going on. Am I right?
Correct. Right.
Because the title is, of course, 2012, now playing everywhere. Or, thank God, it can't happen here.
Thank God that can't happen here. Stay tuned.
In other words, if you took the movie 2012, but you spread it out over 10 years, 2012 is happening now playing everywhere, as Earth timeline is rapidly approaching event date.
Such a feeling, you know it to be true.
The polar flip. Apparently the whole thing only lasts about 17 minutes. Then what we'll see is like the movie.
What if a disaster strikes without warning? What if life as you know it has completely turned on its head? What if everything familiar becomes anything but?
It happens in our lifetime. Otherwise, it serves no purpose for us being here.
Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed today.
A lot of you are familiar with the Mayan stone, which shows the motion of every celestial body in the galaxy for 5,000 years, even though they didn't even have a telescope 5,000 years ago. How'd they do that?
They're from the future.
If you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth.
They're from the future.
If you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth.
How poetic.
But they left us this message, which they had to know nobody's going to pay attention to 5,000 years from now. It's why they wrote it in stone, so that it might last until we get here, but still nobody's going to believe it. You know how they knew that? Because they didn't believe it. That would have been halfway between Atlantis and now.
Today, carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is above 400 parts per million, a level not seen any time in the history of human life on Earth.
The methane release from the tundra, once that gets underway, we reach a point where we lose the option of having an effective mitigation strategy. We can always abandon coastlines, but if we activate enough of the carbon reservoir in the terrestrial biosphere, that becomes unmanageable. So that's unfortunately kind of a doomsday scenario that our trajectory is pointed to.
While it appears we've already passed the tipping point for an ice-free Arctic in the summer, other tipping points could be centuries, generations, or just years down the road. The big danger about tipping points is that you can only recognize them when it's too late to do anything about it.
With the current release of the methane in the Siberian tundra, we're not talking best guess estimates. Now this is where the permafrost is melting, releasing methane, which warms the air 30 times faster than our normal greenhouse gases of CO2, etc., 30 times faster, thereby melting more permafrost, thereby releasing more methane. Given at current release rates, the non-disclosed runaway methane threat will render the North American hemisphere uninhabitable by human life by 2042, plus or minus 3 years. That's in our backyard, and we don't have the tech to stop it. We couldn't stop it if we wanted to, based on current technology.
In order to combat this issue, we must create the largest movement in human history, and it could mean our very survival. Let's not wait until we reach more tipping points. This is the most urgent of times and a most urgent message.
As in the days of Noah, there will be much eating and drinking, giving and taking in marriage, wine, women, and songs, sex, drugs, rock and roll, Facebook, and YouTube. And it shall come upon the world as a snare. I don't have to tell anyone listening the snare is set.
Brother against brother. Nation against nation. Man against creation. We murdered each other. We broke the world. We did this. Man did this. Everything that was beautiful, everything that was good, we shattered. Now, it begins again. Air, water, earth, plant, fish, bird, and beast. Paradise returns. But this time there will be no men. If we were to enter the garden again, it would only be to destroy it once more. No. The Creator has judged us. Mankind must end.
The earliest recorded human civilization, the Sumerians, Samaritans, Egyptians, 3100 BC, or one Mayan cycle, 5,127 years ago. Earliest recorded human history. Is that because humans didn't exist before that? No. It's because every piece of recorded history we had before that was wiped out the last time this happened. Was wiped out the last time this happened.
This has been another 2018 Special Report. I'm Mark the Arcturian.
Doom and gloom is next over most of these stations.
I'd say it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.